Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. Game week 6 predictions we got here. Obviously, last week it was me versus Tosin. I got 25 points. He got 27. Tosin actually got more points than me. And at the moment, I have 200 points from all 5 game weeks predictions. And the guests have 196 points. A 4-point differential for this last game week. And who better to have than Junior himself? Welcome, Junior.
Well, thank you, PSG. It's an honor to be here once again.
Pleasure having you here. So, first Group A, Bayern already through, Copenhagen on 5 points, Galatasaray on 5 points, and United on 4 points. First game to predict is Copenhagen at home versus Galatasaray. And by the way, in these pictures, Junior, every team on the left side is at home.
Yeah, all right.
So, what were you saying about Copenhagen Galatasaray?
Both teams have surprised me over the group. And if going into this tie before the Champions League tie, I would have said that, Galatasaray easily. But now, given what I've seen from Copenhagen, especially given that they're at home, I'm gonna edge this one to Copenhagen. I'm gonna say a final late dramatic 2-1 victory and if my math is correct, I think that sums them through over to the round of 16. And Galatasaray, depending on obviously what happens in the United game, would finish, I'm assuming, will probably finish third.
Well, that is very interesting because that's exactly what I went with as well. A 2-1 victory to Copenhagen. I had high hopes for this Galatasaray team. I predicted them to come second, but in my opinion, they haven't been as good as they should have been. Both Bayern ties, they could have been more clinical, and they should have beaten United at home.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult spot. As you said, Copenhagen at home, they had the fans. We saw them beat United there. We saw them narrowly losing to Bayern. So yeah, we're both picking Copenhagen. Second game, Manchester United at home versus Bayern München. The only way for Bayern United to go through to the knockout stages is if they win and the other game ends in a draw. So do you see United winning?
This gone. Fraud of a club. They're getting smacked. They're getting smacked. If they don't lose by more than 3 goals, they can count that as a win. That's what I'll say to that. They're gone. No Europe for them. No Europa League, nothing. They're gone.
But do you think Bayern are that strong? I mean, they recently lost 5-1 to Frankfurt. Don't you think maybe there are some cracks?
Even better. Usually when Bayern go and lose in the league, they come out and smack whatever team afterwards.
Very true. And United is the perfect team to smack.
Exactly. And United also, they got smacked 3-0 against Bournemouth. Home. Was it at home? I can't remember exactly. Either at home
or I think away. Yeah.
Away. So it's not like they're on hot form either. I thought that, maybe they've turned the thing with United is they're a yo-yo club. All right. 1 week ago they'll beat Chelsea. Who am I saying? Beating Chelsea isn't even much of a statement. So sure, they're just a bad team. Case in point, simply. The fact that, they had, I think you posted this on Twitter, how, they won a couple games in November and whatnot, and then Ten Hag got manager of the month.
Yeah.
And then Harry Maguire got player of the month. If that's the state the Premier League is in, it's a sorry state then.
I mean, they beat Fulham 1-0. They beat Luton 1-0. They beat Everton, relegation battling Everton 3-0. They lost to Newcastle 1-0, and they lost to... Have they played a big team recently?
The recent
Arsenal?
No, they didn't have them. Not this time. The biggest team I think was the Chelsea, but no, that was recently too.
Yeah, but the Chelsea game didn't even count for the voting, and that the Premier League is disgusting. It's disgusting.
I was seeing, was it can't remember. I think it was Jamie Carragher talking about how after they got smacked by Bournemouth, if it was possible for if it's ever happened in the Premier League where a Premier League manager has won manager of the month and they got sacked in the same week. Like that's the state that Manchester United are in right now.
Yeah. So what are you going with then?
Minimum, I'll say 3-0. 3-0.
Oof, that's big.
I like even it will say it's at home, this and the other. Yeah, no. For me, 3-0. 3-0.
I don't know. I think, the Galatasaray Copenhagen game will stay tight for a long time. And then maybe Bayern are 3-0 up at halftime. And then United, they see the score in the other game and it's a draw. And they start fighting. They get some disgusting rebound goals. But it won't be enough. It won't be enough. Next up, Group potentially B. Group B. We got Arsenal. They're already through. Then we have PSV, Arsenal fighting. Wait, can actually Arsenal get second place? No, they can't. They can't. They have worse head-to-head against PSV. So PSV and Arsenal are both through. And then, so pretty much Arsenal and Sevilla fight for the Europa League place.
Yeah.
It's very boring group then. No tense games. Arsenal, Sevilla, Europa League game. I don't even know if Sevilla can get Europa.
I mean, usually, yeah. Normally, I'd say like, given their form they're playing and whatnot, I would have said like Sevilla like done. But this is Sevilla in the Europa League. Like this is their Champions League, bro. Like they're playing a qualification game for their bread and butter. So like if there's any game where they can turn out, I think it's gonna be this game. However, that being said, this game is being played at Lens, and as you know, especially for us PSG fans, we know Lens is not an easy place to play, and so I think that Lens are gonna edge this one out either with a draw or a win. I'll say a draw. I'll say a cheeky 2-2 draw, and they go through into the Europa League. That's my prediction.
That's a good prediction. I went with 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah, I don't think Sevilla have enough strength to get that third place. And Arsenal they've looked decent. They should be fighting for that second spot. But some results went against them and so on.
Yeah.
Next up, PSV at home versus Arsenal. PSV can't go up. Arsenal can't go down.
I mean, yeah, really. I mean, kind of really is like a useless game. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. There's the only thing they're playing for really is pride. What it's gonna really depend on how both teams approach it. I think, especially if you're Arsenal, and given that you've got probably a pretty hectic Christmas break coming in, so on and so forth. They'll probably rest players. So I could see them probably losing here. 2-1 maybe, but like it really won't mean anything. So yeah. So it depends. If they go and they play the strongest 11, I think they'll win. Maybe like 3-1. But if they go and they play their like hold on, I want to see who is Arsenal, playing next. Because depending on who they play next, probably give us an inkling of what lineup they're likely to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, their next game they play Brighton. So I think they'll rest their players, and they'll probably a B team, so to speak. So I see them probably losing 2-1 at PSV.
I went with Arsenal winning 2-1. I think even their B team is going to be able to beat PSV.
See, very well, very well.
Because PSV have literally no reason to. I know they're at home. Could be interesting, it will be part of their recent history, that game against Arsenal when we beat them. But yeah, I still see Arsenal a bit too strong for that game. Next up, Real Madrid sit first with 15 points. Napoli 7. And again, this is a group where first and second place can't move, and then Braga and Union Berlin can fight for the Europa League spot. And the first game is Union Berlin at home versus Real Madrid. Is it belly goal time once again?
I mean, I know you're not hot on Bellingham, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be belly goal time because, especially given that Union Berlin have been like it's really, really poor in this season. I think they went like on a 10-game losing streak in all
Yeah.
competitions at one point. So like they're really not like, dare I say, they're almost like imposters in the Champions League given the way that they've been playing. So
Yeah.
I see potential like maybe not demolition from Madrid, but and not only that, but Union Berlin, like they, if I forgot it correctly, for Champions League games they've been playing in like the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, so they haven't even been playing in their home stadium because it's too small. So like I can't even say they'll have home advantage. They will to a certain degree, but I see here, a comfortable, maybe I'll say 3-1 win from Real Madrid.
All right. I went with a 2-1 for Madrid. I see Madrid coming into this game. I mean, they also have a tough title race in La Liga, and depending on what game they have next, maybe they will just rest some players in this game. They don't have the largest squad depth with the injuries to Camavinga, Vinicius, Militao, Courtois, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I see a 2-1. Madrid's defense is not the best, so I could see Union Berlin getting a sloppy goal. But Real Madrid will definitely take the 3 points. Moving on to Napoli at home versus Braga. I think Braga only need a draw to confirm themselves as the third place in this group.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably they're losing. Napoli are, a decent squad, even though they haven't been they've been close with competition to Real Madrid. So I see again here probably a pretty comfortable win. Same thing as the Real Madrid game. I'll say 3-1 to Napoli.
I went with 2-0 to Napoli, so pretty much the same when it comes to goal difference. Next up, Real Sociedad, Inter Milan, Salzburg, and Benfica. Benfica are already out. Salzburg are already through to the Europa League. And then it's Inter and Sociedad, same points. And I believe that their previous game was a draw as well. So this is a game for first place.
Nice, interesting.
Inter at home. Do you think both teams will prioritize this game? Do you think they will see it as a big game? I want to come first.
I think absolutely. I mean, given that, as we know as PSG fans, where you finish, it's pretty important to who you play afterwards. Like, you finishing for Inter Milan or Real Sociedad, the difference between finishing first and second can be the difference between facing, Real Madrid, Bayern, Man City, a huge juggernaut, or facing a, PSV, one of Copenhagen potentially, so on and so forth. So
yeah.
I think they'll do everything they can to go and finish first. But then I'll say that for this game, I see no other way than Inter Milan winning. I mean, they've got the experience in the Champions League. I think this is Real Sociedad's first time back in the competition since potentially 2014-15, maybe something like that. They've had a good spell. But Inter Milan, they're finalists last year. They've still been able to keep most of their players, quality players. They're doing wonders in the Serie A. So I think they're going to just continue on with their success. And they're at home as well. So I see nothing more than Shiki will say. I'll say 2-0 win for Inter Milan.
2-0 for Inter. I went with 2-1. So again, very, very similar. Salzburg, Benfica. I mean, this is a very disgusting game. Benfica have been horrible in the Champions League this season. Lost their first 4 games. And then the 5th game, they were leading 3-0 up at home and managed to lose 2 points and draw that game 3-3. Salzburg, they don't even have to do anything special against Benfica. I mean, they could just chill out. They're at home. Or do you think they will try to break a record and score 10 goals or something?
I know Salzburg. They don't watch the Austrian league, so I think they roll over anyway. So it's probably not like they have a big game coming up. They're at home. I think what I'll say. I say Benfica win. I'll say Benfica win 2-1 for pride, because they've been like really. It's really remarkable how like despite like the same Benfica that went toe to toe with PSG, the prime PSG of last season, went toe to toe with them, are now getting slapped left, right, and center. With the teams in this group. So I'll say that I think they'll rally. They'll say like, "Come on, boys, this is pride." Even if it's for pride, they'll go. The game is away from them as well, so it's like everything's against us. And I'll give them a cheeky, 2-1 win, a smash and grab at the end for pride. Won't really mean much, but yeah, 2-1, 2-1 to Benfica. I'll say.
Interesting. I'm with Salzburg 2-0. I think the Benfica players don't want to even go there because they've been horrible, and there's no point apart from, as you said, pride to play well in this game. Next up, Atletico Madrid and Lazio to fight for first place. Feyenoord already through to the Europa League, and Celtic are out. Atletico Madrid at home versus Lazio.
No brainer for me. Atletico Madrid every single day of the week. You got Griezmann in form. You had Morata, who has cooled down a bit since his late hot start to the season, but I think it'll be a fairly comfortable win for Atleti. I'll say a 2-0 win at the Wanda Metropolitano. They'll defend well. They'll show that Simeone ball, defend, and get the 2-0 victory.
I'm with a 4-1. I mean, they beat Celtic really badly, and I could see something similar here. I could see them scoring a lot of goals against Lazio, because this Simeone side, since like the World Cup ended, they've just been scoring more goals than the usual Simeone sides that we know about. Yeah, 2-0 works as well. And the Feyenoord here against Celtic. I said Celtic before, got smashed by Atletico. I think it's time to get smacked again. Because Feyenoord, I predicted them to go second. So I think they aren't that proud of what they've done in the group so far. So they would want to end it on a bang.
Sure, and they're at home as well, so they've got extra motivation to go and do well there. So yeah, I think potentially we're in for a potential drubbing as well. I'll say a 3-0 to Feyenoord.
Same thing here. 3-0 for myself. All right. Here comes the best group stage, maybe of all time, because we're in game week 6, and still every single team can go through. And every single team can go out. That is apart from Dortmund. Dortmund could lose potentially their first place. In the first game.
Yeah. And also, PSG is the only... Well, we can't go out, but we just won't make top 2 because I think we're guaranteed Europa.
All right.
Yeah, we're guaranteed Europa.
That's great news. PSG versus Dortmund. If PSG win, they are first. If Dortmund don't lose, they will keep their first spot. So, do you think Dortmund will defend in this game? They don't have to win. They don't have to score goals.
That's the thing. So I think they're going to. So, like taking off the PSG fan first. I'll just look at it like analytically and logically. Dortmund have everything to lose effectively in this game. Everything to lose. I guess PSG to a certain degree as well. But as in Dortmund, they don't need to. If they get a draw, they're first. So I think they're going to try to play for the draw, not necessarily go for a win, which means that they're going to probably play, sit back and counterattack, which is sort of similar to how they played in the away leg, so in the home leg for PSG.
Yeah.
And I was at that game at the Parc des Princes, and they did not look good. Now maybe it was just that them at the beginning of the season, and they're getting better. But if PSG are able to do anything of what they did last time, I think that PSG should win this game. And I'll say, rather comfortably. I'll say 3-1. PSG, score early, calm the nerves, and then go on top of the group. Calma, all's well that ends well. And everybody that mentioned PSG Europa this, PSG Europa that, will have nothing to say.
That's a great prediction. I went with a 2-0. I think, yeah, I think the game will be extremely similar, maybe to the first game. Dortmund will sit back until PSG get a goal. Then they will try to come at us, and we'll end the game with a 2-0. But it could be a crazy game. Who knows? But we'll see.
Yeah.
Milan, Newcastle. I'm gonna say what I think, just because I think it's so obvious that Newcastle should and are meant to win this game. That's why I'm going with 2-1 to Milan. I think maybe Newcastle would be a little bit arrogant coming into this game. They would feel extremely comfortable at home. Recently got a draw versus Paris Saint-Germain. And yeah, they look at this Milan side not as the strongest. But I think them underestimating them will be their biggest mistake. And I mean, this is their first time back in the Champions League. So this is a thing that logically could happen to them. How do you see the game going?
I mean, I don't know what they have to. I am a bit don't necessarily fully agree with your assessment there. How they're coming into it, confident. They're not. It's not like PSG who are so currently in second. I would say even from a PSG perspective, people call it being a bandwagoning or glazing and whatnot, but arguably deserve to lose the game in Paris. They're very fortunate to come out of there with, I'd say, a draw. And they're not in the best of form either. They got smacked 4-1 by Spurs the other day. Yes, they're playing at home. Yes, also AC Milan aren't in the best of form either. I think they lost to Atalanta, but AC Milan were in a Champions League semifinal last year and have had quote unquote similar situations. So I think that I'll say that I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a draw. That is going to be it's going to be a chaotic game, hectic game. But at the end, they're gonna share the spoils, and that no team goes through to the round of 16. And that I think if there's a draw, I think that unfortunately AC Milan, even though I've said all that, I think they'll finish dead last, and that Newcastle go through to the Europa League.
I mean, I like your prediction more than my prediction, because
really,
yeah, I mean that means if we lose to Dortmund, we still go through.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a game where both teams would win. If it ends a draw, then blame on both teams, man.
But the thing is, even if AC Milan win, we're still okay because we have better head to head.
Yeah, so it's only Newcastle that have a chance.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Because yeah, if they're on the same, is it actually that? Hold on, let me make sure.
It is. They sit on 5, we're on 8, and we have 3-0 to 2-1 head to head.
Dang, yeah. So no, they can still go through. Because if PSG lose.
But then we still on the same points.
No, because Milan are on 5. So if they win, they'd be on 8.
And we are on
7.
Oh, we are only on 7.
Yeah, we only have 2 points ahead.
Oh my god, we're ass.
So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so everybody's still playing for something. So long as, but the thing is, if PSG get a draw, for example, and Milan win, we're okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the worst case scenario is that PSG either draw and Newcastle win, PSG lose, Newcastle win. Yeah, basically the best if as a PSG fan, if that game ends in a draw, we're safe. We're good. That's what we want. We want a draw. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a draw 2-2. Let it be chaotic, hectic. But in the end, they share the spoils because then that will mean that regardless of what happens, that PSG are through. Obviously, we'll do the business, but just for added security.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Another boring group as City already through as first place. Leipzig already through as second place. I believe Young Boys already through. No, yeah, Young Boys already through as third place. And Red Star out. Red Star at home versus City. Is this a game for City to lose? They've not been in great form.
True, yeah.
Serbia is a tough place. I mean, Liverpool went there, they lost.
Yeah.
Napoli went there, they drew. From the recent teams, I remember.
That's
but
true, yeah.
Leipzig won there, so.
That's true. But I just think that even if like City play, you know, they're like under 23 squad and it's their B team, I think they still have enough quality to go to Serbia and win. I don't see like, not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know how many times it has been, but every time I seem to check, they always seem to be losing. Like initially, they always concede first. Then at the end, they score, and they get the job done. So
yeah,
I think that perhaps a similar thing's gonna happen. Maybe that Slavia Prague get they'll go in, they'll get an early goal, do the momentum and everything. The crowd will be behind them and everything. But eventually, I just think City's quality is going to be too much for them, and I'll say 3-1 win to City.
3-1 win to City. I went with a 2-1 to Red Star. We're here for yeah. I hope City lose, and I mean, City they don't care about this game. Premier League fixtures are tough.
True.
I see City lose. I mean, Red Star were leading against City at the Etihad for like 60 minutes. Like,
that's true, yeah.
40 minutes something. Red Star at home versus Young Boys. Yeah, I think this is a great game for Leipzig to finish off this group stage.
I agree. Yeah, 100% at home, as you said, they're guaranteed to go through. They're no real stress to speak. They can't go and leapfrog them. So I guess they can, if you want tinker. It's I think, yeah, as you said, it's a good all around game. I see a fairly comfortable win. I'll say 2-0. Another Xavi Simons masterclass.
Yeah.
The PSG lad, and so yeah, I don't see them struggling too much.
And I went with a 3-0 as well. At home, Leipzig doing their business. Especially, they will be high on confidence after defeating Dortmund at Dortmund's home ground. A lost group here. Barca, all they have to do is draw to secure first place. Antwerp already out, 0 points. I believe they're the only team in the Champions League this season with 0 points, showcasing how easy of a group Barca got. And then Shakhtar versus Porto, fighting for Champions League qualification. Game played in Portugal. This is a game that I would like to watch. I think this is like the most heated game out of them all. This is one team playing against another team, and they're fighting for the same spot.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Barca already qualified through, maybe not necessarily in first, but already qualified. I mean, no disrespect to Antwerp or anything, but I think another guaranteed 3 points there as well. But then, yeah, this game, basically, if you win, you beat your man on the day, you're going through. You don't, you're going to Europa League. So I think there's everything going on here. I think, like, normally I would have said, Porto, probably pretty convincingly. But then, Shakhtar, causing, Barca problems. So, dang, I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a draw, 2-2. And then I think if it's a draw, I think it ends that I think Porto go through, if I'm correct. So yeah, 2-2 draw, and then Porto goes through on their head-to-head and I guess goal difference as well.
Yeah, they beat Shakhtar 3-1 in their last game. So
yeah,
that's all Porto would need. I went with 2-1 to Porto. Yeah, I see them finishing the job off. And Barca Antwerp. Barca not in the best form, but yeah, It's a game to finish off the Champions League campaign. I mean, they've celebrated going to the round of 16.
I mean, that's what happens when small clubs go and are punching above their pay grade. Really, honestly, because going to Europa twice, they're a Europa team. They're imposters in this competition. But you got let them celebrate the victories. Let them celebrate the victories. It's okay.
Yeah, Barca, it's an underdog story when they go to a round of 16.
Yeah.
I'm going with 3-1 to Barca.
Yeah, I would have said 3-0 or 3-1 easily. Yeah, same thing.
All right then, Junior. As you heard in the beginning, there's 4 points between me and the guests. I've had one single different guest every single game week. Do you think you will overtake me?
Well, I think the thing that probably will stage, I think, is Group F in this last Porto group. I think is going to determine it. But obviously, you got to back yourself. I think I'll be able to just capture it back. In the dying moment, somebody's going to score a goal, and the guests are going to win.
All right. It's interesting. It's tight. I think I've been leading since game week 1, but with just 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. Yeah, who knows? You might take the crown back. Bon. Thank you so much, Junior, for joining us. I will be updating you when I calculate the score and so on, if you made it or not.
All right, no problem. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure here. All right, that's been a beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the PGN YouTube channel, and as usual, allez Paris!